So Steve, thanks very much for joining me today.
Yeah, my pleasure.
One of the things that we have been talking about is disruption and transformational change.
Yeah.
And you've been taking Oracle through a huge change, going from product to service. What's the biggest challenge of that transformation that you've had to face?
I don't. It's one of the couple biggest challenges, and certainly the biggest one that I dramatically underestimated was cultural change. And so, I think we've always thought we were doing what the customer wanted, and we always felt we were good customer service. But boy, the difference of being closer to the customer through the SaaS model, the difference between having so many digital ways to connect to the customer, to really learning. It's becoming a product company that sort of shipped it. And I mean, we followed up, and I certainly, at least personally, got involved with customer implementations, et cetera. But boy, the huge difference between shipping software and actually delivering a service in mindset and cultural change was certainly, if not the hardest, definitely the most I underestimated.
Give an example of a change that was really hard for your team to make.
Well, just the acceptance that it's kind of always on. We're in a weird industry with software where, like, what's the right amount of bugs? Well, obviously 0 to have in software. That said, every piece of software written has some bug in it. So then it's weird, like, okay, your goal is 0, but you're never going to be there. But when the customers, we're turning on, 7,000 customers same day, first day. The order of magnitude difference in terms of quality and impact versus we ship a product, somebody downloads it on a CD at some point, it's quite dramatic. And really raising the bar to that customer service, and not only, okay, customers understand software has bugs, but how we react to it, how we communicate about it, how we mitigate it, how we tell information how it's not going to happen again. All of that just gets ramped up to a level just dramatically unexpected.
So what did you do to help your organization bridge this culture change?
So what we're trying to do is just more transparency. I want to understand throughout the organization, down to the line engineer, here are how many customers you have. Here is what they are doing. Here is what they're happy with. Here's what they're not happy with. Because I think what we've had before is just the bigger disconnect with the customers. We find information, but did the line engineer know everything in real time? And people want to do the right thing, not only at Oracle, but everywhere. They're working hard to do the right thing. What I felt the gap was there's just not enough transparency to that real customer feeling. And you feel, developer, yeah, I had a bug, but it's okay. It's like, actually, no. Here's what the customer is saying about it. Here's why. And now the good news is when you get kudos from customer, it's great. And you get that motivation down to the line manager. So I was just trying to take an approach of making transparency of everything.
How do you actually do this? I mean, give me some tactical things that companies can take away, because I call it the democratization of customer information. Mm-hmm. Usually it's held by the high priests of customer information. How did you get it to that line engineer?
Well, the first step, I think, was adding more monitoring of our system. So we don't see customer data, but we have lots of telemetry in the system to report what's happening. How many customers are using a feature? How many customers aren't using the feature? If they're using it, how does it perform? Are they using it on the phone? Are they using it via a tablet? Are they using it via a traditional PC? Just on and on and on. And once you have that telemetry where you're monitoring how your product's being used, then it's actually relatively simple. You just sort of publish it. And then depending on what the engineer's job is or what the product manager's job is, there's all kinds of ways they interpret it to good or bad. But I think what's shocking to people is when you just have the raw, unfiltered data real time, you just find transformative insights to it.
Yeah, and I think it's so fascinating because you're getting the right information to the right engineer so they can actually take action on this.
And they are. And again, you see some positive, you see some negatives. And it's a certain training. We find ourselves still to this day talking about a new feature and saying, well, I think a customer is going to use this or that way. And even to catch myself, we don't have to guess anymore. We can we host all of our customer data. Let's look. Why don't we just look?
It's a totally different way.
It sounds so simple and so silly, but the change in mindset of how you do things instead of guessing and using the data to drive you is a tremendous cultural change.
The last set of questions I want to ask you is around your leadership. I mean, you run a huge team at Oracle. How many employees?
Around 18,000.
Yeah. So how have you had to change your leadership in thinking about how you lead and through this transformation?
Well, I think the level of communication and the frequency of communication has gone way, way, way up. Because we're going through a change, I found that there's just this organizational, probably culture is the right word, that either, I don't know if they don't believe it or they don't think we're going to see it through, or yeah, this is the, you know, kind of fad of the day. It's like, no, we are, this isn't like, I won't say Oracle doesn't want to do it, but we are, for us to survive in the business we're in, we need to become customer-centric, truly customer-centric in everything we do. And that change, I just think it takes a while for people to get used to. This isn't, you know, this isn't our goal for the year. This isn't like everybody's, you know, okay, here's our quarterly thing. This is we're going to fundamentally change. We do business. And, you know, we've unfortunately, and I think many organizations have this crossing the chasm, we were reasonably successful. And so I'm trying to convince people then who in their jobs were very successful, you know what, that was good then, not good now. And yes, we're talking to you, and we all got to change, myself included. So it's just a lot of, you know, repeat through a number of different channels.
Yeah. And have you found yourself engaging more in digital channels? How has that worked? The new opportunities that are out there.
I have. I don't know if I'm 100% comfortable with it, but I have. You know, I like one-on-one interactions. I like going to small team meetings. I'm doing more all hands on a much more regular basis. I'm keeping them because we have a pretty diverse group of lots of different products, and one of my concerns with those all hands is if I drill down into any one in particular, you know, I'm kind of wasting time from somebody else. But now I think these cultural elements, these strategic elements of customer facing are so common to everybody. I can have them on a much more frequent basis. Thankfully, our team hasn't gotten bored because there's kind of the same or similar message over and over. I'm on a Slack channel where I open anybody to send me any question to go forward to kind of get that transparency. And part of the big reason for Slack channel is now I've got sort of an audience that wants to hear about different policies as they have. And in that audience, I'm just pushing out little by little, here's our customer metrics, here's where you go for this customer metric. Because what we found is it's really hard to go, you get to go where the developers are instead of having them come someplace. And so they're on Slack, I'm on Slack, and that's where we're going.
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much for your insights into transformation.
I appreciate it. Thank you.